Greetings, this is the Real Reginald Angus Argue. Tonight I'm going to share the poem I just wrote on July 1st, early in the morning, called Breaking the Walls of Hate. Before I share that, I went downtown on Canada Day with my wife Lisa. We had a chance to talk to different groups. Shout out to Steve, shout out to Shelby. Both those individuals, they themselves are breaking the walls of hate. It's great to see that diversity is starting to come. It's amazing to see, loving it. I came home, I started to reflect back on different articles I've written over the years and different people I've interviewed. Between talk radio and video interviews, I've had about 400 different guests we've done interviews with. I wanted to quickly say shout out to the Canadian Football League, shout out to the Toronto Argonauts and Michael Pinball Clemens. When I did an interview with Michael Pinball Clemens, I'm sitting down, he's standing up, and I stand about 6'4". He was pointing out during the interview, you won't believe how tall this guy is. He's almost as tall as me, and this is what Michael's saying during the interview, so I started laughing. But the interview that I found myself reflecting back to was in 2012 with the late Herm Hamhaz Harrison. He played for the 1971 Grey Cup Calgary Stampeders. Reggie Holmes, we also did an interview at the same time. With Herm, he talked to us about what it was like growing up as a black athlete, playing football, and how the white athletes were played in the field, and he had to sit and watch because of the color of their skin. And thank God, it's now we're turned the page. We're starting to go to who is the best talented for the positions. It's amazing, equality, loving it, people. Now I'm going to read the poem right now. It's called Breaking the Walls of Hate. I wrote this again early morning of July 1st. Our lives are built upon the flashes of sand within the faction of our times. Heading down a one-way train track of life, we see each period of our lives bursting in front of us. The brilliance of our action becomes our light in the darkest of times. We do not fear the hatred of a few who are too blind to see the wisdom of our souls. As written in red, we are all each other's brothers and sisters keepers. Reaching out with love and understanding, we recognize that each of our lives matters. We embrace and hug the ones who have been shunned and ostracized throughout the history of humanity as we witness there's no imperfection in God's creation. For it's only humanity itself that builds walls of hate. Using the chisels provided by heaven and hell, we slowly break through the walls of hate. Not stopping, we continue fighting for the rights and freedoms of all. Standing alone on the battlefield, we feel an overwhelming wind of change, more powerful than ever approaching us. Having a sense of peace, we see that Aquarius is only a few steps away from us. Soon we know that our weapons of war will be turned into plows of peace and harmony. Closing our eyes, we witness the visions of our future being more full of positive possibilities as high as the highest mountaintop in the land. I wrote that July 1st of this year. The story I have comes back from my old talk radio days. Lisa, she was the operator on my radio board. She was my producer, director. She was the one that coordinated. She called the guest normally, make sure that the guest was, aware of what to expect and everything. So a week before we're going to do an interview with Eva Bartlett, a Canadian human rights activist, we were going to call over to Gaza. Lisa calls over, and at that time, a ceasefire had not yet gone into effect. It went into effect before we did the interview. So Lisa's talking to Eva, and she can hear in the background bombs being dropped. And it, to me, is just like, I'm thinking back to that time, and that's the example of standing outside your norm. She's hearing this, and she's probably thinking to herself, each bomb that's being dropped, either someone's getting injured or someone is getting killed. You know what? And, I greatly admire Lisa. She is truly, someone I consider, she's my hero. Until we meet again with everyone, like I keep telling everyone, don't be afraid to be the positive change you want to see in the world. Stand outside the norm. Make people want to be inspired to do stuff themselves. We can bring change, people. We just have to keep believing in ourselves. Never stop believing. This is the Real Reginald Angus Argue. I'm back again in 2 weeks. Till we see you then, have a great day, everyone.